So today I thought we would have a go at doing some nail care together. Probably a good time to do this. My nails are looking pretty awful right now, but I find that by following these steps I can get my nails in quite good condition and quite strong, and they grow really quickly. So I thought I'd go through that routine with you. So I start off usually with using a crystal nail file. I will list the products that I'm using if you want to get the same ones, or if not, you can find whatever you've got at home. And generally I'll start off with this. Being a crystal nail file, I can go in both directions across the nail to get the shape. And that doesn't cause any damage to the nail. If I don't have a crystal nail file, other ones that I do like using are these ones. With it not being a crystal nail file, it will cause damage to your nail going backwards and forwards. So just do single strokes in the same direction. Okay. I don't need to do that to my nails today because they're looking okay in terms of the shape, and they're already really short and we want to try and grow them. So the first step that I will take now, after filing them to the length and the shape that I want, is to use a cuticle remover. So I pour this on around my cuticles, and I'll do one hand at a time. So I start with this hand, pour it on, and then I'll start to use a little tool like this to push at the cuticles just ever so gently, and the remover will help to gently lift the cuticle from the nail bed so that it's not stuck, and it will remove any of the bits of cuticle that don't need to be there. So just gently go along, make sure that there's none of the cuticle is stuck on every nail. And if it feels like it's a little bit stuck still, like I can feel a little bit there, then I'll use a little bit extra of the cuticle remover. I'll move on to the next nail and leave that one to soak for a little bit longer. Same with this one, it's a little bit stuck there. Use a little bit extra and leave that one to soak. And then I'll go back to those ones that were needing to soak a bit longer. And that's worked straight away that time. So sometimes they just need a little bit longer with the remover on to soak, just to make sure that none of the cuticle is actually stuck to the nail. Okay, and then we'll go on to the other hand. Just pouring a little bit onto each nail. And just remember to be really gentle, not to hurt yourself along the way. Some of these tools can be quite sharp. Just be really gentle, and like I said, if there's any that's a bit stubborn and stuck, just use a bit more and let it soak for a little bit longer. And the last one. Okay, then I usually just take a tissue, wipe off the little bits of the cuticle that have come away from the remover. Then I will take a little buffer like this and use the side that says remove ridges, and I will use that to just gently buff the top of the nail. Okay, then once that's done, you'll have some little bits of the nail there that needs cleaning up. So I tend to just like using a nail polish remover pot. This one's my favourite one because you don't need to use any cotton wool. You just dip your finger in and give it a little twist. And then the handy part about that, not using any cotton wool, is you don't have to worry when you're painting your nails if you make any mistakes. You're not going to get cotton wool stuck to them. But I like to just use that there at that point of my nail care, just to clean them up and make them nice and tidy, ready for the next stage. So this is where I'll look at my nails, and I'll look all around the edges. I'm not sure if you can see, how closely you can see, but I will use a little trimmer like this, just to get these little bits of skin here around the nail. Just snip them away. And I try and be really, really gentle with this because they are really sharp tools to use. But I just check what's needed where. So this side, a little bit there. And sometimes if there's little bits of skin really close that are a bit hard or a bit loose, that's a good time to get them with these clippers really gently. It's better to do that than to leave it and risk catching it on something, and then it might pull the skin and hurt too much. So that's what I do there at that stage. Then I like to use a cuticle oil. This is my favourite one out of all the ones that I've tried. However, there's lots on the market, and there you can even use some things like coconut oil as well if you prefer to use that. And I will just put a little tiny bit of this along each of the nails, just along the cuticle at the top there. And then gently just rub that in. And with the cuticle oil, we can use that as many times as we think we need. And actually, the more you use it, the more it will help your nails with their health and the growth, particularly with around the cuticles. Now, I was a little bit too rough there with my little cuticle trimmer, so just make sure that you are careful, otherwise you will hurt yourself. And then once that's all rubbed into my cuticles, again, I'll take a tissue and just rub that off my nails. Just so that it's off of the nail, but it's still around the cuticle. Then the next product that I like to use is this Overnight Detox Mask by Nails Inc. This is another one of my favourites. Out of all of the things that I use for nail care, this is my favourite. And it's just a treatment that I find really helps with the health of your nails, and especially for them to grow much more quickly. So you just dab that onto each nail, just a bit on each one. And I try, if I can, if my nails are in a poor condition and I want them to really grow and get them into a good place, I won't wear any nail polish, and I will just use this maybe between 2 and 4 times per day for maybe a week, 2 weeks at the most, depending how bad my nails are, and that will really get them back into really good condition, and they'll start growing again really, really quickly. So I like to use that. And I tend to just keep rubbing over each nail until it's all soaked into the nail and the nail bed. This is obviously something that you leave on, you don't wash it off. So ideally you want to do it knowing that you're not going to wash your hands again afterwards, so that it has lots of time to sink into your nails and get the best results from using it. Okay, now for today I'm gonna leave that there. If I was at a point where I was happy with how my nails were looking from using this, and I wanted to paint my nails, or maybe I'm happy with how strong they are and how healthy they're looking, but I just want to give them a bit more nourishment as well, then I like to use this base coat. And you can use this as a treatment by putting it on every day for a week. Don't take it off, just put a coat on, then the next day put another coat, next day put another coat, for a week, and then that will be the treatment complete. And then you would start on the following week afresh. So you'd remove it all, use this then as your base coat, and then you could go in with a nail polish on top of that then afterwards. But you can use it as a treatment as well as a base coat. So today I'm not going to do that because I've just put this on, but that's what I would be doing afterwards. So that was my routine. That's what I do to try and help my nails, to make them look healthy, to treat the cuticles, to try and strengthen my nails, and to help them grow nice and long. Like I said, I would be using this 2 to 4 times a day, and you could be using this around about the same amount of times every day. And I would be doing that for a week to 2 weeks, and that should really boost them to help them to grow nice and long. And then when they're in a nice position of length and shape, then that's when I'd start looking at adding in, using different colours or doing nail art.